Frequent Miler on the Air starts now. Today's main event, Hotel Loyalty Wars. Hyatt and Marriott are battling it out, while Hilton and IHG are kind of standing back. Let's get into that soon. But first, of course, we have the giant mailbag to pull out.
Drag it out. Let's drag it out. Here it comes. Okay, and...
no sound effects this time. I'm always interested to see what sound effects you use for dragging out the giant mailbag. But
well,
that's okay.
The audio editor is going to put in some sound effects this week, I think. That's what I heard.
Right. Well, except that our official audio editor is still on paternity leave this week. So maybe next week we'll get double sound effects. We'll see.
Sounds good.
So, all right. This week's feedback comes from several readers who listened to last week's show. Last week, you'll remember that we talked about making the show quicker.
We did.
Or getting done a bit quicker. And we got several bits of feedback. I'm going to just read a couple of them. Larry K says, no need to rush in my view. I like 1 hour. And Jeff says, more Greg and Nick equals better life.
The secret to life and happiness right there.
Exactly. So I don't know. It's good to hear that people like more Greg and Nick. So we're gonna try to do a 24-hour show today.
24 hours sounds good. More Greg and Nick.
The Greg and Nick telethon.
All the time.
Exactly.
Make it a reality show. Let's make it a reality show.
Right.
Come on, we can do this.
Hopefully it won't be that long, but we won't rush as much as we sort of tried to last week. Yeah,
sounds good. So that then I guess that brings us into the next segment, which I'm slowly getting into because I don't want to rush ahead. I want to make sure that Larry, everybody gets what they came for. Okay, so here we go. What crazy thing did Citi do this week? Citi did something crazy finally, right? They finally got around to it.
Not Citi this time.
They're partners, same difference.
American Airlines is not Citi, and this actually has nothing to do with Citi, even though they are partners with the credit cards. No, but they did do something that we've seen. I think Citi has done similar things before, but I do remember others doing similar things. But this one comes from an email that American Airlines sent out promoting a transfer bonus from hotel programs. They're offering right now, once you register, a 25% transfer bonus from, I think it's just Hyatt and IHG.
I think so, yeah.
And that's nice, but they gave an example in the email, and the example was if you transfer 25,000 points, you'll end up with 25% more, so 25,000 miles. As Stephen pointed this out to us, 20,000 hotel points does not, in the best of days, equal 20,000 American Airlines miles, so a 25% transfer bonus is not going to result in 25,000 American Airlines miles, no matter what hotel points you use.
Right.
I did look up Hyatt's transfer ratio to American Airlines, just to see if this is interesting. And the reality is with Hyatt, when you transfer 50,000 Hyatt points, you get more miles that way. So typically 50,000 points transferred from Hyatt become 25,000 American Airlines miles. So with this bonus, you get an additional 6,250 miles. And so it's better than the usual 2-to-1 transfer ratio, but I still don't, for most people, recommend transferring Hyatt or IHG points to American Airlines.
Definitely not. Definitely. So American just totally whiffed there, and whoever was writing the email just obviously didn't know how the transfers work with American. So, which, mistakes happen, but that'd be totally misleading. If you didn't know better, it'd be a totally misleading email, huh? I mean, you would have been could have been totally sucked into making a transfer that wouldn't have been a very good deal.
Exactly. I will point out that just because I like thinking about things, I like when there are deals that make possible things that aren't usually possible. And so Normally, you can't ever directly transfer Chase Ultimate Rewards points to American Airlines. But through Hyatt, you could transfer 2 to 1 to Ultimate Rewards to 1 American Airlines mile by going through Hyatt first. But now the transfer ratio is better than 2 to 1. So it's sort of, to me, academically or nerdily interesting, not something I'd recommend.
Right. So, all right. So that was the crazy thing that American Airlines did this week. And like I said, they're partners with Citi. So it really kind of makes sense that kind of thing would be contagious, sending things out the wrong way or sending an email that doesn't make sense months after the fact and that sort of thing. So it really does fit into what crazy things Citi did this week. So now that we've got that through, we're going to move on to our next regular segment, which is Mattress Running the Numbers. And this week, it's kind of interesting because Wyndham is out with some brand new credit cards. I should say Barclays, I guess, is out with new Wyndham credit cards. There's 3 new
Right.
cards, but specifically, the one that's by far, I would say, the most interesting is the Wyndham Business Credit Card. So, what's interesting about it? Why might we want to get it? How does this fit into Mattress Running the Numbers?
Right. Okay, so first let me just say all 3 of the new cards offer a 10% discount on Wyndham rewards, on free night rewards. So the nice thing is, even if you get the free card, your Wyndham points become worth more towards free nights. So they're all kind of good in that respect. The business card, though, is especially good because it, I think, easily more than pays for itself. So it is $95 a year, but right off the bat, you get 15,000 bonus points every year. So, if you if you value those points anywhere near where we do with the reasonable redemption value, then the points are worth more. Those 15,000 points are worth more than the annual fee. So you're doing well right there. And then you have Wyndham Diamond status as an automatic benefit. And you'll remember that Wyndham and Caesars are partners. And so when you match from Wyndham Diamond to Caesars, you get Caesars Rewards Diamond status, which you know a lot more about that than I do. So I want to ask you some questions about that in a minute.
Okay.
But I do want to point out that a few months back, people might have said, well, that's no big deal because you could easily match Marriott or IHG status to Wyndham Diamond and then to Caesars Diamond. But you can't anymore. They stopped allowing those matches, at least for now.
Mm-hmm.
So if you didn't get on that match merry-go-round that you've written about before, which I didn't, then this credit card is a good way to jump on.
Yeah.
So I just want to point that out.
Sure.
And then the card's also actually surprisingly strong for earning on spend. So it has some bonus categories where it earns 8 points per dollar. I mean, that's an unusual number in itself. I can't remember ever seeing an 8 points per dollar for pretty much anything. But you're getting 8 points per dollar at Wyndham properties, obviously, but also for gas and utilities. And utilities includes things like telecom. So it's pretty broad and very strong earner. And obviously people who manufacture spend at gas stations might have some interest in that. And then another play, which we don't know yet if it'll work, but Stephen pointed this out to us, is that Visa Savings Edge it's a program for enrolling Visa business cards and getting automatic, basically, statement credits for different types of purchases. And Visa Savings Edge has 4 to 5% back at Wyndham properties, and I think it's 2% back at Chevron, which is gas, right? So
Sure.
If you can enroll, and that's the big if you can enroll this card into Visa Savings Edge, then you're not only getting the 8x rewards for both of those categories, but you're getting at Wyndham properties an additional 4 to 5% cash back. And at Chevron, you're getting an additional 2% cash back. And so that's an awesome return on your spend for, especially, if you have Chevron gas stations around. Wow.
Right.
So I was very surprised as I dug into this. I thought I was going to write a ho-hum post, like, oh, there's new Wyndham cards out. If you're a Wyndham loyalist, you might be interested, but
Which you saying
to
half
everyone
tongue in
else,
cheek, like, who's really a Wyndham loyalist? It's like,
right?
you might stay in them and like them now. Well, I mean, nobody's like crazy loyal about Wyndham, are they? I mean, so yeah,
Right.
it would have seemed to have been a really, really niche thing, but I'd say now it's not. It's not a niche thing. I mean, it is a niche thing in the sense that you still have to be interested in using Wyndham points, I guess. But there are some nice Wyndham properties, and they have that partnership with cottages.com where you can rent some pretty nice places in Europe. You'll pay per bedroom, so it's perhaps a little bit less appealing than it once was. At least I think they still have that partnership, and they do have their vacation rentals as well. So there's a number of different
Right.
options where it might be pretty appealing. The vacation rentals within the United States look pretty nice too. So if you
Yeah.
can pick up points at 8 points per dollar at the gas station. I mean, just doing my rough math, a couple of minutes of math here, that seems like you're paying less than 2/10 of a cent per point if you're doing like kind of traditional manufactured spending type stuff, not even considering the Visa Savings Edge stuff that Greg is talking about. If you're able to stack anything else,
Right.
great. So, I mean, that's pretty cheap for Wyndham points.
It
So,
is. So this isn't really a mattress run. This is a
right.
way of getting free nights and other perks just for signing up for a card and keeping it and paying the $95 a year.
Yeah.
So before I ask you about Caesars, I think we could. It sounds like we're both giving this
Yeah.
mattress run in quotes thumbs up,
Right.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's on my list for my next round of signups. So tell me about Caesars. Like, how valuable is that diamond status, or is it? Is it
Oh
at all?
no! Well, it certainly is. If you're going to stay at a Caesar's property, then it sure is because number one, you don't pay a resort fee when you have the Caesar's Diamond status. So in Las Vegas, that's like 25, $35 a night, something like that at most places. So you won't pay that at all, and that could really add up. I mean, if you stay for 4 nights, you've already beaten the annual fee, so to speak, in which you've saved on resort fees. You don't pay for parking, and really the key benefits are that you get a $100 or a $100 celebration dinner credit. So you can eat at one of many different restaurants or buffets, and you get a credit of $100 towards your meal when you have Caesar's Diamond status. So you can do that once per year. Now it is kind of select restaurants, not exactly every restaurant, but it includes a range. It includes a range from like the buffets to some of the really nicer high-end restaurants. So we had a great time with that in Las Vegas last year because I went to Las Vegas. A few of us had picked up Caesar's Diamond status thanks to the status match stuff. So we were able to all use our credits together on one nice meal. So that was a great deal. And then you also get 2 free show tickets per month. And again, it's select shows, so it's not necessarily the top end of the Caesar's shows, but they don't look too bad. And there was something there that I kind of wanted to see. So
Yeah. So
for
I have
free.
a vague memory. Am I remembering this wrong? I thought I remembered you writing a post, or maybe it was Steven writing a post that they weren't offering the 2 free show tickets anymore. Is that
I don't. Well, that's
maybe
news to
it
me
could
if
just be
that's the
bad memory?
case. That's news to me.
Okay.
I don't think I wrote that. So news to me if that's the case. The other thing that Caesar's Diamond status comes with is a free stay at the Atlantis in Atlantic City, or no, not Atlantic City, the Atlantis in the Bahamas, rather.
Right.
And that I believe is a 4-night stay. You still do pay the resort fee on that one, so it's
Oh,
not totally free. And you're supposed to gamble. And I know that a year ago there were some reports of people being told that they were going to get charged the full rate if they didn't do any gambling. And so I don't know, I avoided that. I haven't gotten back. Who knows when you're going to go to the Bahamas? I'm not sure. So I don't know, I don't value that one super high. But if you love Atlantis and you go every now and then that might certainly be something appealing because you'll save something for sure. So overall, Caesar's Diamond status is
cool.
pretty good. So for $95, getting all of that, getting 8x at gas stations, I'd say that, and 10% off on your Wyndham award redemptions. That's like we said, 2 thumbs up. I think that's a card
Yeah.
worth.
Yeah. It's a
And it
winner.
won't impact your 524 status because it's a business card, right?
That's right. That's right.
Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Sweet deal.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for
Okay.
today's main event?
The main event. Welcome to the main event. So today's main event, as Greg said, hotel loyalty wars. Hyatt and Marriott battling it out. Hilton and
Yeah. So
IHG standing back. What's going on?
So, we've talked a lot about Hyatt coming out strong with all these great overlapping promotions. So, what appears to be happening, Marriott is striking back, but in a totally different way. They're like, forget promotion, forget, stay at our hotel promotions. Yeah, we'll give you 2,500 points for one stay, um, but instead they came out with one of the arguably one of the best credit card bonuses we've seen, like that I can remember. Not
Right.
not just Marriott credit card bonus, but just in general.
And not just
This is
hotel bonuses, just in general, like
exactly,
a credit
exactly
card bonus, period. Yeah.
right, right, right. So um, for the Chase Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card, which is their, I think it's $95 a year card, you get, if you sign up and spend $5,000, you get 5 free nights. And these are free night certificates worth up to 50,000 points per night. So these are the same 50K per night certificates you get if you have the Ritz card or the Bonvoy Brilliant Amex card. But this you get by signing up for the Bonvoy Boundless, which sort of confusingly is the card that gives you a 35K free night every year upon your anniversary. So for, that's almost the most mind-boggling part of this
Yeah.
promotion. Like I wouldn't have been surprised at all. I mean, I still would have thought it was good promo, but if they'd come out with 5 free 35K nights, but instead they went 50K, and
Right.
uh, that was really nice. So, at a very high level, it's just kind of interesting that Marriott's battling for your credit card business, while Hyatt's saying, "No, we're battling for your real in-bed business," and that seems to be the strategy they're taking, at least so far. Um,
Right. So wait.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
go
okay. All
ahead.
right. Well, so are we going to talk about that Marriott card now or later? Should I jump in? Because so
Let,
all right.
let's jump. Let's jump into the details of that card. Then we'll
Okay.
back up to the big picture.
All right,
Yeah,
that sounds good. So that Marriott offer, the certificates, 5 free night
yeah,
certificates worth up to 50K. There's some nice things about it. They're 5 certificates, so you don't have to use them all together. You could use, 2 here, 2 there, one another time, etc., or use them all together. Of course, as Greg
right,
noted in the post, you can't get the fifth night free when you're using the certs. You got to be using points, so you're not going to get like 6 nights out of that, or it's not quite as flexible as having points. Pretty cool though, because you could get a category 7 off peak. You can get a category 6. You can get a category 5 when it's in peak pricing, which Greg has shown before. Oftentimes when you want to go, they are. So there's a lot of flexibility to that. However, I'm not going to recommend this to people in my life who I think probably normally this would be a great offer for. In fact, my wife said, "Oh, should we recommend this to so and so and so and so?" We have a lot of friends and family that aren't really into the game, so to speak, at all.
yeah,
And I explained the deal, and she said, "Oh, well, that could really help this person or that person." And I said, "Yeah, but certificates are only valid for a year." And we don't know
right,
what's going to
right.
happen over this next year. Now, in the past, sure, they've been good about extending certificates. I don't know if they're going to be extending all of these. There's a lot of certificates
It's
on the
true.
books
We
now.
don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, we don't know what's going to happen with that. You can't count on,
Right.
good customer service. And I don't mean that to say that Marriott's not going to have good customer service. I mean that I wouldn't sign up expecting, customer service to just be nice and give me an extension. You have to have a plan to use those in the next year. And I feel like right now it's just too hard to predict whether or not you're going to be able to easily use those to great value in the next year.
Yeah.
There's a lot of great properties if you can travel to them, but we just don't
Right.
know what's going to happen. So,
No,
I'm less excited about it than I would be any other time. I mean, an amazing offer with
yeah.
terrible timing.
I totally agree. Totally agree. I have some reservations that I've set up prospectively at the Inn at Bay Harbor, which I've written about on the
Hmm.
blog. It's a category 5, so it's one that's standard 35K, but it's often 40K a night, and so if I was eligible for this card, which I'm not, I would easily get at a minimum 35K a night value from this, because often when we go up, we don't stay for 5 nights in a row. So I wouldn't really be missing out on that fifth night free issue. And so, from that point of view, it's, a very good, it would offset what, 175,000 points for me, I think, if I did the math right. That's even if they weren't at 40K a night when I was staying.
Right.
So yeah, let me do the math here. 35 times 5, 175. Yeah.
Yeah, 175.
So yeah, so I totally agree with what you're saying. I just do think that people who can use it,
For
it's
sure.
actually very good. But
It
don't get me
is.
wrong. I put a lot of caveats in my post about it,
Yeah.
saying why. Some people have sort of advertised it as a 250K offer because 50K times 5, but it's not even close to that,
No,
right?
no, definitely
But
not. Definitely not. But I mean, yes,
but
yeah, like you said, I think that's probably the ideal case scenario for somebody to consider this. Somebody who has a property in their backyard, so to speak, within a drivable distance that they're excited about, that they like to go to,
yeah,
that they'd be happy using the certificates at as a backup plan at the very least. I think that type of scenario makes a lot of sense. If I had that, then yeah, I think I would go for this. And to some extent I do, because I live within a drivable distance to New York City and I like to go usually a few times a year. But again, right now, I don't know if that'll be the case in the next year. So a little harder for me. But for a lot of people that have that type of situation, I definitely could see this making quite a bit of sense. So it's an interesting offer. There's no doubt about that. Or if you live in Hawaii, if you're somebody who lives in Hawaii, this is the rare welcome bonus that could be really good for you, because if you want to go to another island and stay at a place at one of these nice properties, you can do that. Greg showed a number of great places there that you could use these 50K certs at. So there's, I think, some scenarios where it could make a lot of sense, but for most people, I feel like it's probably got to be a pass for now. And that's too bad, because there are some great 50K properties. It really is an interesting offer and an interesting
yeah.
way to hook people in, to kind of take the total opposite approach from what I think we probably expected, right? Did you expect to see something like this?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah,
This was a big surprise to me. Although, I mean, we did expect to see
we did.
big offers coming out during this time, and we've seen some really terrific things coming out.
And
But
this is creative. This is very creative, because Marriott knows that not everybody's going to use these. Not everybody's going to use them at 50K properties. So it's
right,
not as big of a cost to them, I'm sure. Not as big of a risk in terms of having all those points out there. So it makes sense. And it's something that you could excite people with by showing them, hey, look at this nice place you can go, or this nice place. So I think it's a really smart move on Marriott's end, as good as you could probably do from
right,
their end.
right. Now let me bring up something sort of related here. It seems to me that all this time during the time where companies have been introducing promotions to sort of make up for COVID, that with Marriott, we've seen something come out from the Chase side of the Marriott credit cards before we hear about a similar thing on the Amex side. Am I remembering that right? Like when they did grocery bonuses, I feel like the information came out for Chase first, and then we found out about Amex, and
I
then
think so.
same thing
Yeah.
later. So,
Yeah, I
so
think so.
you know, Amex has 2 Chase cards that are available
Two
to
Marriott
sign up
cards.
for. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Amex is not selling Chase
they don't,
cards.
they don't have any Chase cards at Amex. Right? Anybody who works at Amex that has a Chase card keeps that hidden away. All right.
Amex employees will go, "What? Well, we have Chase cards, but no." um, right. So they've got
They get two Marriott cards.
2 Marriott cards. One is a business card, which I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see anything particularly great come out of that. But the other is the Bonvoy Brilliant, which is their $450 card. And I can't imagine that they're going to sit by and say, we're going to just let everybody sign up for the Chase Bonvoy card and not do something special on the Amex side. So I think we're going to see something special. I don't know what it is, but I'm looking forward to it to see
Well,
what that is.
I think that's a particularly good point, not just because they don't want to see the Chase kind of eat their lunch, so to speak, but because the people who sign up for that Chase card are not going to be eligible for the Amex
Right.
bonus for quite a
Right.
while. So they're not just like losing in the sense that a competitor's got something compelling. They're losing in the sense that each person who signs up for that Chase card is not going to be able to get a welcome bonus on the Amex card. So I mean, they're
Exactly.
basically losing those customers altogether.
Right.
So that's a bigger, I think, bigger reason, a bigger motivator for Amex to do something. So I'll agree with you. Initially, when you said that, there's part of me that says, I don't think so, just because a lot of those ultra premium cards haven't done much yet to try to attract new customers. So I was less in the camp of thinking that they're going to do something to
Gotcha.
attract people to such an expensive card. But when I thought about
Right.
it from the second perspective there, that they're going to lose the access to those customers altogether for a couple of years, then I think it makes more sense that they've got to do something. Now, what it's going to
Yeah.
be, I don't know. What would your prediction be? Like, because they obviously have to compete at a higher level here with a much more expensive card.
Right.
So, I
Right.
mean, what's the higher level than 550K certs?
Well, I feel like there's two directions they could easily go, and I mean, there's so many different things they could do, but the sort of obvious options for them are to do one is to do 5 nights, but for like maybe 80K certs or 70K certs, so that they are worth even higher level of categories of stays. That's one possibility. And it would have the same benefit for Marriott as this one does, which is there's going to be a certain amount of breakage that they're going to count on,
Sure.
and people who don't use their certificates before they expire. The other, another obvious possibility is that they do a mind-boggling big points offer, 200,000 points, something,
I mean,
something
what would the
really, really big.
mind-boggling big? Because I feel like 150 is no longer mind-boggling big, in the scheme
Right.
of things, if you're looking at these 550K certs. So I almost feel like it would have to be 200, and that
I
seems
think
like,
it has to be 200K, and it seems
yeah,
unlikely, doesn't it?
it does seem unlikely. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. I'm like, they can't possibly do 200K, can they? I mean, if they did 200K,
I don't know.
that would be pretty crazy.
It would. And then it would really make me regret that I don't have any Marriott credit card slots available to sign up, because that would be an offer worth pursuing.
Right.
Um,
Right.
and you wouldn't have to worry about, oh, I don't have plans for the next year, because the points don't expire as long as you have
Exactly.
activity every couple of years.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know. It's interesting. It'd be interesting to see what happens for sure. So all right. So Marriott is fighting for your credit card business, and maybe Chase and Amex are going to fight each other. We don't yet know, but at the very least, right now, Marriott's out there swinging with Chase to try to get you to sign up for their card. So, and Hyatt, as we've already talked about, large extent, they're doing some great promos, worth mattress running, et cetera, et cetera. So what about Hilton and IHG? Like, are they going to do anything?
Yeah. Before we tackle them, let's just one last thing about Hyatt. Do you think they'll come out with a better offer for the Hyatt card?
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely do. Almost unquestionably, because at this point, we're getting that part of the pandemic. Now, we kind of predicted a lot of this stuff, like Greg kind of alluded to earlier. Early on in the pandemic, we said there's going to come a point where travel is going to start to be crawling back, but people are still kind of apprehensive and hesitant. And we figured that when that starts to happen, we'll see some big offers, because they're going to have to do something to attract people to these cards that people are like, oh, I'm not traveling. I don't need a card right now, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to see some increased bonuses on the co-branded cards. We had kind of predicted that a while back. And sure enough, that's coming true. I mean, we're seeing that by and large. I mean, one after another, pretty big, cool new bonuses on the travel cards. So I think Hyatt is due here. I mean, the bonus has been the same forever. And if they're going to compete for credit card business, they're going to have to offer something better. So, and it seems like Chase is in improvement mode here. We've seen all of the enhancements, the Freedom Flex that came out, the enhancements coming out to the Freedom Unlimited card, obviously a number of big bonuses, rumors about stuff coming on the Sapphire Reserve card maybe in the coming days here. So there's a lot of different stuff happening on the Chase side. I think the Hyatt bonus is definitely going to increase. The question to me is, what does that mean? Like, is it going to be free night certificates? Is it going to be points? How much? What do you think? Do you have any predictions as to where it'll go?
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, I don't think they'll. Well, I was going to say I don't think they'll do anything to directly compete with the 5 free nights, but I guess if they took away the point bonus and offered, 5 category 1 to 4s or something like that, that might be possible.
I see.
Um,
I think it'd be more likely for them. See, in the past, Hyatt's old offer was 2 nights anywhere. It was uncapped
true,
certificates,
true.
right? So I think
Hmm.
it'd be more likely to see them offer uncapped certificates again. maybe 3 uncapped certificates or something like
Although
that.
they don't have uncapped anymore as a concept, right? They have the category 1 to 7 as their high
That's
end. So
true. That's
they're
true.
taking away those 40K properties and the Miravals and
Right,
a
right,
few
right.
random things here and there.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So, but
Still,
still,
I
one to
see, I get your
sevens. I can
point
see
that
that.
those certificates. How many of those do you think they would do to
I
try to make
mean,
that compelling? It'd
I
have to be
think
more than two, right?
right. I think 3 would probably be fairly compelling in category 1 to 7. 'Cause category 7 properties, you can get some really nice, expensive category 7 properties, and 3 free
Right.
nights at a top tier property would probably be more appealing than 5 nights at a mid tier property. Although,
Yeah, but here's
hard
the
to
thing.
say.
So that might be more appealing for us who know what to
How to use the
expect.
certs.
What
Yeah,
can we get from a
right,
1 through 7
right.
versus a 1 through 6 on the Marriott side, and we know that, oh
Yeah,
wait, there's peak and off peak over there. That's going to cause problems. But an average consumer might just look and say, wait, I can get 5 free nights over here and only 3 over here. I don't know.
yeah. I mean, that's a
They
good
either
point.
I think they either have to do 5 nights of some sort, or just forget that approach and do
Points.
more points or a combination of points and cash back. Something different to make it attractive. If they do something, it's going to be really discouraging for all those people who have signed up recently for the Hyatt card, because I think a lot of people have, in order to
And
prepare for the fourth
yeah,
quarter bonuses, which are better if you have the Hyatt card.
and some bloggers recommend that it's a great card to get if you're a beginner. And so some people probably
Right,
signed up
right,
thinking that,
exactly.
those bloggers are right. So
Exactly. So, and the reason it's particularly disappointing now is Chase seems to have stopped matching the better offers when they come out. They used to, if you signed up recently, would easily match you to the better offer, but we haven't heard any positive data points about that for a while now. So I don't know. I think that's just one of those bad timing. You have to say,
so
that's a
so,
shame.
so moral of the story is if you haven't signed up for the World of Hyatt credit card yet and you're thinking about it,
Wait a
I
bit.
would wait. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
definitely wait. And this is one of those times where I wouldn't even think about the opportunity cost of waiting, blah, blah, blah. Just wait, because I think it's got to get better. I'd be very surprised if they let all of the other Chase cards increase their bonuses and didn't do anything with the Hyatt card. It just
I
seems
agree.
to me. So there's got to be something. I think it's going to come soon. That's my bet anyway. And we talked about Marriott offering bonuses on their side. Now, I think that when you said at the beginning that Hilton and IHG are kind of standing back, I think it was unfair, because you look at the
Hmm.
fact that IHG increased the bonus on their card this week to the 140K offer. Hilton has
Right.
had good new bonuses. And in fact, I don't know if we've reported it, but I did see recently that there's been an offer when you're connected to Wi-Fi at Hilton properties. You might be able to get a link online to go to it. That there's been an offer on the Surpass for 2 free nights after meeting minimum spend, instead of getting points, free night certificates, which is kind of more interesting with Hilton, because the certificates that are earned before the end of this year are valid for 2 years and any night of the week. So with a 2 year expiration, I'm more interested in free night certificates than I am with a 1 year expiration with Marriott. So that's kind of appealing and interesting. 2 nights at any Hilton property, so that's an uncapped certificate,
Right.
and valid for 2 years. So I feel like Hilton and IHG are doing something, just maybe not something quite as good. And in the Hilton case, it's not really a public, easily accessible offer for everybody to
Right.
find. So
Right. Also, IHD, yes, they upped their bonus on their Premier card to 140K, which is a very good offer. But I think we've seen similar offers before from them for this card, and so they're not going above and beyond to really try to attract the customers and customer loyalty the way Hyatt is doing with promos and Marriott's doing with the card. And it's kind of surprising because in the past, both IHG and Hilton have had particularly strong um, loyalty plays of like stay, either get triple or quadruple points, or
right, right,
the stay at this brand and that brand and then get 10,000 bonus
billion
points for
points,
that,
yeah.
plus all these other bonus points. So that's why I kind of characterize it as, it feels like they're just kind of standing back, and I don't get it. It
Oh, I
feels to
think
me
I
like,
do.
do
I
you?
think I
Okay.
do. I think I do.
What's their
Well,
plan?
I don't necessarily know that they have a plan, but I get why they're not doing it. So IHG, their accelerate promotions that they had for a long time, like Greg was just
Yeah.
saying, would often be something like, stay a weekend night at a Holiday Inn Express and a weekday at a Staybridge Suites and jump up and down and pat your head and rub your tummy and spin in a circle 3 times and you get a whole bunch of points, right? But right now, people are obviously traveling much less, and an offer like that seems to be encouraging people to stay at a bunch of different brands and go on a bunch of different trips just might not have great optics. It might not look great from the
I see what you're
perspective
saying. Sure.
of trying to encourage people to do super unnecessary mattress run type travel. Now, of course, I'm saying that we're talking about mattress running. We've talked about mattress running Hyatt globalist status. But I think that from a company perspective, it probably just doesn't seem like it's going to resonate with people the same way, with the average customer, the same way that it has in the past. So I feel like that probably isn't going to come for a while yet until we start to see travel become more common and comfortable
Hmm.
for people. Hilton, I'm kind of surprised though. Hilton, I'm kind of surprised that they haven't just tossed the points on, piled the points
Right.
on, but they are rolling over nights. So, and that's something that not everybody is doing. So
Right,
that's
right. They're
not
doing
bad.
some nice things with the with those free night certificates. I
Yeah.
really like that they've extended them to be any day of the week, whereas normally they're just weekend, and they extend them for 2 full years, which, some brands haven't, like even Hyatt. I believe if you have a free night, if you had a free night that expired this year, then they did push that out. But if you have one that expires like January 1st, I think it's still sitting there at January 1st.
And Radisson, I don't think has extended certificates that are upcoming expiring at all. I think if they expired in a very short window, they
What
extended it a little
Radisson did
bit.
is they moved them all to expire, like the ones that expired this year, if I'm remembering right, they moved them all to December 31st of this year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it was something terrible like that. That's not really useful for anybody. And then if you have, like, I got 3 of them with my spend on the Radisson card that I got
right.
in, like, I don't know, April or May, peak pandemic time, when I wasn't going to be able to use them, and I'm presumably not going to use them the rest of this year. So I'm only going to have a few months, maybe in 2021, to use them. And of course, there's no extension at all on those. So all right. So now, in fairness, Hilton has actually had some decent stuff going on. So, we're talking about what Hilton might do. You're saying that you thought that, maybe Hilton needs to do something more, or IHG needs to do something more in order to attract business. But Hilton right now is
Right.
offering double points and double elite night credit. And those get you to the milestone benefits faster because those extra elite nights count towards the milestone benefits also. So, I mean, right now they are giving away a decent pile of points. Like, what more does Hilton need to do to compete with Marriott's 5 free night certs and Hyatt's promotions that are giving you extra elite nights and extra points? Like, what should we look for Hilton to do to compete stronger?
Yeah. Well, I just think Hilton set the bar really high in the past. There have been promotions with triple points, and I feel like it went up to quadruple points, and we're not seeing that. And the whole thing, bonus elite nights. I mean, with Hilton, most people shouldn't care about elite nights because you
Right.
get status from the credit cards. So, yeah, I guess, what do they give you for
Well,
milestones? They
so
give you
once you
some
once you
extra
hit
bonus points.
40 nights, you get
Hmm.
10,000 bonus points, and every 10 nights from there, you get another 10,000, and at 60, you also get an additional 30. So you're right. I think that
Okay.
nobody's chasing Hilton status because you can just get it with a credit card. But
Right.
if you're somebody who is traveling for work still for some reason, and you've been doing traveling, you had a bunch of nights at the beginning of the year before the pandemic or whatever, and you're in that range of the 40 to 60 nights, then you're getting triple points, and for each 10 nights you're getting another 10,000 points plus another 30 at 60. I mean, they've gotten a decent number of points.
I'll grant you that. It's decent. I just don't think
Not
it's
super exciting.
eye-opening enough
Yeah.
to compete on the level of 5 free nights, or,
No. No.
stack all these promotions together, and that
And get
Hyatt
an
has. So
awesome status. All right. Okay. So
yeah,
Hilton, you got
yeah,
to do something. We don't know what it is, because I
right.
mean, you're giving away points left and right. You're giving extra elite nights, and it's not enough because you also give away the status really easily with the credit card. So got to be something more. I think free night certs though is a good move for Hilton. I think making an offer with 2 or 3 free night certs that are uncapped and valid for 2
Yeah,
years would certainly put the pressure on, because Hilton does offer those uncapped free night certificates, and the ones that are
right.
issued this year are valid 2 years and any night of the week. So I think that would make a splash, because like you said, Hyatt doesn't really have the uncapped certs anymore. I think that
Right.
Hilton could make it eye-popping by saying stay at any property anywhere in the world for 2 or 3 nights for free. Then I think that's something that would move
I
the
agree. And I'd love to see that on their Aspire card. Like, I'd like to see both the points bonus they normally offer,
and
plus a couple free
couple of free
nights,
night
something like that.
certificates. Yeah, I
I
think that
think
would be
that would
really
be
interesting.
exciting.
Yeah, yeah. That brings us to the question of the week. This week's question is one that you actually answered, but I didn't find the answer satisfying enough. So I wanted to bring it up. I had it marked for question of the week, and it took you a few days, and then you got back to the person. And I said, "Oh man, I was going to ask you that." So I'm still going to ask you, because I think this is a question that other people would have. So
Okay.
KC asks the question via email, and he says, "Hi guys, I was wondering if you had thoughts on why some fantastic brand offers don't show on that brand's Amex card. For example, Greg mentioned the excellent Delta offer not being on any Delta cards. All those Hilton offers don't show on our Hilton Aspire or our Delta Platinum, so I had to resort to putting them on a card that'll only earn 1 membership reward point per dollar. I chose the Everyday Preferred in the hopes I can get 1.5. Just intrigued, figured the brands would be upset that these offers aren't encouraging use of their cards." Sorry about that. So, what do you think about this? This is something that we've noticed in the past, something that we've noticed for a
Yeah.
long time, that oftentimes when there's a good offer that comes out, like a Delta, 10% back on flights or something, or one that's good for Hilton or Marriott, we sometimes just see that they don't end up on the card that would make the most sense for that type of offer. Do you think this is intentional? Is this just some weird glitch in the system? Is there a reason they just don't want you to get the extra points and the offer? What's the deal with that?
It is really odd. I mean, it's certainly possible that there's some intention along the lines of, well, we know that this person already has the Delta card or the Marriott card or what have you, so we don't need to encourage them to fly Delta or stay at Marriott or stay with Hilton. Whereas if you don't have that card, maybe they want to encourage you. So there might be some intent there. My guess is it might be more just chance. I don't know, but like with a recent one of these where it didn't show up on the branded cards, we actually saw it showing up a few days later on the branded card. So for some reason, it maybe they have rolling rollouts, like they roll out first to their membership rewards and cashback cards, and later to their branded cards, or something like that. I really have no idea,
It's
but
weird.
um,
I've noticed this happen also with grocery offers, because I've had sometimes where there's been a statement credit offer at a grocery chain that comes out on like the business platinum, but not on the gold card. And
right,
that's not
right,
the card I want to use there. And
yeah.
I found that happen with membership rewards cards also, where there's something that would be a bonus category. Gas is another example where I've had these gas offers on the business platinum, but not on a card that earns a bonus on gas. So I find it kind of annoying, because I'm always like, it's not
Right, right,
not worth the total whatever it is then, because I got to give something up in order to get it. And so it's
right,
always
right.
kind of a
But
bummer.
sometimes it's the other way around. Like sometimes
That's true.
you get a nice like Grubhub offer on the MX Gold card that already gives
It's
you
true.
like Grubhub benefits. So it does
Totally
happen
use
the other
that
way.
just
But
this week. Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Totally use that just this
so,
week. And I should also say for KC's benefit that Hilton offer did show up on the Aspire card in our household. So
and actually, Casey wrote, I think it was Casey, wrote back a few days later after I responded saying, oh, thanks. I checked, I'd already picked that offer on a different card, but my spouse was able to find it on the branded card.
there you go. Yep.
Yeah, so it's
Maybe just
basically,
wait.
well, just wait. Except there is a little bit of risk in that, right? Because some
Yeah.
offers are very limited enrollment, and they'll they'll disappear before you could sign up. So if the offer's so smoking hot that you have to get it, just go ahead and sign up on a suboptimal card. But if it's one where you're like, it's nice, it's good, but I'd rather have it on another card, I think it's usually safe to wait.
I agree. I agree. When it's something like $100 back on 300 at Delta or Dell or something like that, that might fill up. So I would just add that right
Yeah,
away and say, go ahead and just make sure you
certainly
have it
in an Amazon offer, pretty much any Amazon
right.
offer is likely to fill up right away.
Right
So
away.
go
Yep.
ahead and grab
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, grab those types of offers. But if it's something like, 50 back on 250 at a Hilton or something, you could probably wait a few days and see if that comes up on your co-branded
I
card.
think
So
so.
it's a strategy worth pursuing. Another thing that somebody mentioned recently, and you've mentioned it recently too, is that they only show 100 offers at a time in your available offers. So if you already have 100 offers showing on the co-branded card that you would like to see some other offer on, maybe add a few of those offers that you don't really care about to bring yourself back down under 100, and then another day or two later check back because they'll probably have refreshed the offers that are available to
Right,
you.
right.
That's worth
I
knowing
can't,
too.
yeah, that's a good tip. I can't quite figure out what happens there because I have noticed that even when I have 100, I still see new offers appear on that same card. So
Yeah,
there
sometimes, yeah.
must be certain offers that roll off when new ones appear.
I
But
don't know
yeah,
which
if you
ones.
want
Yeah.
to have a better chance of the new offers appearing, I think keeping your number of offers available down to probably below 90 is probably a good idea.
By the same token, I think it was Steven that mentioned to us via email that he had 100 plus offers that he had added to a card. And so one of the offers that he added to the card didn't show up anymore in the added offers. Now
Yeah.
I assume that probably it will still trigger, but that's another thing to be aware of. Because I would have thought, oh,
Right.
the solution is just add everything and every offer that comes out, add it to some. But that could create some confusion too, because you might not see the offers you added that you actually wanted to add.
So I think right. So I think
Yeah,
the strategy is to have multiple Amex cards and add those junk offers to multiple cards instead of just one.
just
And that
one.
way
Yeah,
some of the junk offers are on one card, some are on the other, and then you're
spread it out.
less likely to go over 100 on either side.
There you
So
go.
yeah.
There you have it.
There you
All
go.
right. All right, my friends, that brings us to the goodbye song. I want to thank you all for being out there listening, watching, whatever it may be. If you want to get on our email list, join our Facebook group, follow us on Twitter, all that good stuff, you want to go to thefrequentmiler.com/subscribe. Again, that's thefrequentmiler.com/subscribe in order to get on our lists. And we'll see you guys again next week.
All right. Bye everybody.